Alright guys, welcome back. This is the GSL Code A Round 2. I am Doa. With me is Wolf. We are casting from the Mokdong studio here in Seoul, South Korea. And we just saw an awesome thrashing from Slayer's Boxer. I can't get over those games. I mean, it's not like it was a new build we had never seen before, but it's so much fun to see players do these unique builds once in a while, you know? It's kind of fun when it's not a standard game, even though it would have been cool to see a Game 3.
Virus is going to be sitting on the subway train right now. Did that really just happen to me? Is this actually transpired?
Well, I think that's the type of thing that a lot of pro gamers wouldn't get too broken up about. You know, I mean, it's obviously got to feel really bad, but at the same time, it's like, well, that was just like a weird series.
Well,
you know?
Boxer just, let's be honest, he loves to show off for his fans, and he got exactly what he wanted with that game. Just doing a flashy, interesting, cute little build, and it worked 2 times in a row, and he's just going to smile, go and shake Virus's hand and go home.
Yep. That series, you know, it was fun. Boxer won, but it really didn't say a lot about who was better, you know? Today, I mean, Boxer was better with that build, but if you go into a long macro game, you know, it's hard to say who would have come out on top. I think a lot of people still would favor Boxer, but, you know, I think Virus would have been able to hold his own quite well as well. So, I don't know. Wouldn't worry about it too much. We've got a cool match coming up, man.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got Team Liquid's newest player, Liquid Zenio, playing against none other than MarineKing Prime. That is going to be a pretty awesome ZVT.
Yeah, I just saw Zenio walk by, actually, with a Team Liquid shirt on.
Yeah,
it was kind of, you know...
weird. It was a little bit weird at first.
It was like a little bit different. You know, it's not quite the same, but...
I know. Well, it's at first I was like, well, who's that? I'm like, he's wearing a Liquid jersey. I'm like, oh, that's actually Zenio. It's like I didn't recognize him because he was wearing the Liquid jersey for a second. But, yeah, let's take a look at the replay here from Boxer's matches against Virus. Here it is. This is our second game on dual site.
Watch the part where the Banshee just decides not to fight.
It's already leaving. It's already flying across the mini-map on the lower left there. Yep.
And there's the tank that just was not enough. I feel like Virus decided the tank would be enough, but it just was not. The Marines targeted down first, interestingly enough, and...
Yep. You know, I mean, if he would have pulled a few SCVs to repair that tank, even though he would have lost those SCVs, it might have helped him last longer. I'm not totally sure, but...
It's really hard to say.
Would have been kind of one of those, you know, if-only situations where you just don't know. Now, Virus does kill a lot of SCVs. Boxer does need to pull them all, loses some mining time. But like we were saying after the games, he really would have been a lot better served by leaving that Banshee in the base. That would have just shut down that attack almost completely right there.
Definitely would have.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Virus just has no reply to this. Boxer just comes to the realization quite soon that, oh, it doesn't even matter that my Reapers can't fire upwards. I'm just going to use them in the medevac like this. And he just dodges Banshee rockets.
Look at that. That is amazing. He still ends up, you know, losing a lot of Reapers, but yeah, literally dodging the Banshee fire. That's awesome. That's, in case some of you don't know, the way projectiles work in StarCraft 2 is that with things like Blink, for instance, you can actually dodge a projectile, so to speak.
Yeah.
If you know, leave the space without traveling from it, when the projectile gets there, it's just not going to do anything. So,
yeah.
Yep. A little bit complicated, but we see it every once in a while pop up in a game.
Yeah, you can dodge Marauder rockets, for example.
Yep.
If you cloak your Banshee before a Viking rocket hits you, your Banshee will survive the shot.
Yep. That's interesting because Cloak appears to kind of follow those same rules.
Yeah.
And it's little things like that that I really actually love about StarCraft, is that there's all these like little things that the players can use to their advantage. Which is very, very cool. You don't see stuff like that in a lot of other RTSs, I feel.
It's just these little things that, like mineral walking, for example, that doesn't make logical sense, but it's just something that's part of the game that you have to take into consideration. There's so many awesome things that you have to take into consideration in StarCraft 2 that are mechanics that are... They make the game more interesting and more complicated, and the more complicated it gets, it becomes more intricate, and it just becomes that game where you watch professionals do it and you're like, wow, that's actually extremely complicated what he just did. He dodged Banshee rockets with Reapers in a medevac, dropped them out and killed SCVs at the same time. Yeah. That takes real talent.
You generally don't see that in like Platinum League on NA or something.
Not.
All right.
You wouldn't try to explain that to your grandmother. No, you would not.
No, I might, but just very slowly. All right, look at this guy right here. Newest member of Team Liquid.
Yeah, taking out Rex Mujuk.
Yep.
On his way here.
I actually didn't see that series.
I did not either.
I hardly ever miss a series, but that is one I did not get to see yet.
Well, it looks like he just outclassed him with a 2-0 win.
I guess so. I mean, Zenio is one of these guys where he's kind of always been around. I mean, he's never had a ton of success quite yet. We'll have to see how this new team environment for Liquid is going to impact it. It's obviously not going to really have much of an impact today since he just joined. But, you know, we'll see what the future holds for this guy. He's still a good Zerg player. Wouldn't be surprised at all if he won. But, I don't know, he's got a really tough opponent in MarineKing.
Very true. MarineKing, the guy who does not stop attacking in this matchup.
Yeah. Unless he's still rushing.
We'll see what he's going to do. He might 2-Rax. The map is dual site. And
I'd say that's a very distinct possibility on a map like dual site, yeah.
You know, I feel like I haven't seen as much of MarineKing recently as I used to, and I think that's because he's not been doing as well.
Well, you can see him right there.
There he is.
He's right in front of you. There he is, MarineKingPrime.we. Knocked down to the Code A rounds from the round of 32 Code S. Just keep in mind we do have 2 group stages in Code S now, so it was the second one that he got knocked out in. But, like, look at who he lost to. He lost to 2 really good TV tiers, and he beat a really good ZV tier.
Yeah.
So that says a lot for how this match might go, I feel. We'll see.
He's trying to decide if he wants to put his hood up or not. He can't make the choice.
It's like you got to be more decisive than that, MarineKing. Going up against a pretty good Zerg. The maps are going to be dual site, like we mentioned starting out. Crossfire SC will be our second map, and if we need a Game 3, it's going to go to Antigua Shipyard. Look at that, MarineKing scoring himself some Clydeburns there.
Yeah, he's got Clydeburns.
Oh.
He actually does.
He's got more Clydeburns than Clyde has right now.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Oh, he's Slayer's Clyde, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course he is.
Are you ready to start?
I'm ready. Are you ready to start?
Of course.
Of course we're ready. Well, that was interesting. All right. Thanks again to our wonderful sponsors. And here we have our Zerg player. I'm going to say it again. This is the last time I'll mention it because people think I'm getting repetitive. He's the newest member of Team Liquid. He is...
That was Zos, man. That wasn't the Queen of Blades. That was Zos, the Cerebrate, man, who said that.
I guess so. He just... Oh, that was interesting. Well, maybe they had him say it. And there is our Terran player. He is...
MarineKing Prime!
Oh!
A lot of fans here for MarineKing.
Well, the fans
mostly
are starting,
female.
You know, it's kind of funny. The fans are starting to filter back into the room now that they finally got Boxer's autograph. The lobby was pretty packed between matches. Winner prediction, not surprisingly favoring MarineKing. I think that's one we can all kind of expect.
Yeah, well, Zenio's been improving a lot recently. His results have not always been consistent, but I feel like one thing that's been consistently true is that he's been improving significantly.
Well, I've always felt that he certainly has potential, if nothing else. So I think he's a good pickup for Team Liquid. I think he's going to do them proud. Heroes worked out quite well for him.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah.
And, you know, Hero didn't even have very many results when he joined, and look at him now. And Zenio's already got results under his belt.
Yeah. Well, you know, all the good teams look for potential and not necessarily results.
Very true.
I mean, there are, of course, pickups where it's just a big-name player, you know, and that's a good pickup for a team. But, you know, I feel like a lot of the more intelligent teams are looking at these newer up-and-coming players and kind of seeing what the future holds, you know?
Yeah.
I think
a lot of shuffling, and it's good.
Yeah. What TSL is doing right
That's
now
what I
is
was
a good
mention.
example of that.
You and I are, like, on the same wavelength, man.
Yeah. It's because we have the same passion.
We do.
StarCraft 2.
Well, MarineKing is going to continue his passion for doing 1-Rax expands in almost every matchup.
Yep.
There he goes, dropping the command center. Not going to 2-Rax, interestingly enough.
Drops it like it's hot. I'm going to pretend I didn't say that. 2 gas right
I
away
already
for
pretended,
MarineKing.
man. I was like, I cannot reply to this.
I'm trying to move on, Wolf. I'm talking about the 2 gas that MarineKing put down. Let me move on from that.
Okay.
All right. So, 2 gas from MarineKing.
Do you remember that time when you said drop it like it's hot?
Why? Oh, man. All right. So, 2 gas from MarineKing. And so he's going to move into some tech really quickly, obviously. There's a lot of things you can do after getting that command center down. And a lot of players like to add on more barracks. In fact, MarineKing was a big proponent of that.
Yeah, he was the guy who liked to do the 4 barracks after command center.
Yep.
Looks like he's going to go ahead and make a factory here. Wouldn't be surprised if he added a reactor as well on his barracks.
Yeah.
start controlling the map. It's a good map to go for reactor Hellions, even if it's a late reactor Hellion, just to control those towers.
If he moves his barracks back, does that enough room for the reactor? I guess it is.
Just barely.
Yeah, just barely enough room. Squeezing it in there. That SCV is going to be all mad at the barracks now. He's going to be like, hey, I'm trying to build a building here. And you move your building next to my building?
Yeah, that barracks actually looks like it's touching the other building slightly.
Yep, might be. So, the Zergling, don't know how much he saw, actually. I don't think he saw anything.
He saw the command center, and that is pretty important. But that was not the Zergling really that saw that, it was the Overlord.
Oh, 2 more factories on the way for MarineKing as well, so he's going to go mech, actually. This is interesting. I mean, I love that we do see MarineKing, you know, do different styles. He's a player that constantly tries to adapt and change up his gameplay, and it's worked out pretty well for him. You know, he's been to the finals of a lot of events. He won to AOL, the first AOL, that is. So we'll have to see what he has planned here. I think we're going to just see a lot of reactored Hellions.
I think so. He's doing the double reactor Hellion. It could even be the double reactor Hellion all in.
It certainly could be, but he is making command centers, so might not be that. He's got an armory on the way, so this is actually going to be the Karn build. He's doing the Karn build, man. And that's a great 2-base build. You know, on a map like Dual Site, it's really difficult to hold a third. Now, if you are playing straight up mech, that makes it a little bit easier, I think. But
yeah, I would agree. So I think.
But if you're gonna go, sorry, can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, thanks. If you're gonna go 2-base, I think the best mech 2-base build is Hellion Thor.
I think what he's gonna do is take this reactor, make probably 4 Hellions out of that, then take his barracks, make a tech lab, switch them again, and then start the Thor production immediately there.
Yep. You get the map control with the large amount of Hellions.
You can
look
also,
at that. Already +1 too.
Yeah, he's super fast +1. Yeah. He's going to get Blue Flame when he switches that as well. He's going to have already a decent amount of Hellions out. And this is a cool little build.
Where is the tech lab on that barracks from MarineKing?
He's actually not going to do that.
Scouting with it. Okay, so he just got the armory for upgrades. Interesting. All right. And you know the thing is Blue Flame Hellions with +1 do 2-shot drones. So that is probably the objective right here. We'll probably see him, although you know he's not getting Blue Flame, so that wouldn't really impact this at all. So
well, look at Zenio's creep spread already. He is laying it out there.
Yeah.
Nice micro on that Hellion.
Microing it right into another roach, but it's okay. We'll be able to take that roach out and not losing a Hellion quite yet. Not bad.
A few roaches going to appear at MarineKing's natural, but he's got so many units there.
Yep. Yeah, he's not even bringing out Hellions either. Oh, look at that. More Hellions joining the party. But one injured Hellion does die, but when you get that many Hellions, man, and now Zenio should know. He should know exactly what he's facing here. So look at that, just pumping out more roaches. Yeah.
He's actually going to find himself dealing with a tough timing attack here with no spines. He might just die, Doha.
You know, that's a distinct possibility. Zenio's making a lot of roaches, though, so I think he might maybe be able to hold. Yeah, he's got a good amount of roaches. You can't kill that many with those Hellions.
Well, with +1 and a bunch of splash damage, he may decide to try it when these 4 Hellions come and join up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's gonna wait a little
bit. I
bit.
think it's better for him to go back here. The 3rd factory does go down. Still no tech lab, though, for Thor production.
Yep. And Zenio trying to take a little bit of a sneaky 3rd there. Getting that plus carapace, I really like that as well. That's going to help out against that +1, of course, quite a bit. And that is a lot of
He's just going to go for this.
Wow. Oh, man. But, you know, like I mentioned, I don't think it's going to be quite
It's not the best trade to go for sure. And nice splitting on those roaches by Zenio.
This is such an interesting build by MarineKing. We see him getting +2 already really, really quickly and adding on 2 more factories.
He's just going to go into mech from here. He's done what most players cannot do with this build, which is to find a transition. That's why I said it was an all-in before, because most players who do this end the game with it. And if you don't, the Spire finishes and you're just kind of out of luck. But he's already made the armory, he got +1. He's already headed towards that next level of mech play.
Well, he's made making the command center first is a big step in, obviously changing this from an all-in to something a little bit less all-in-ish. Because, if you do it on 1 basis, double reactor factory, it's
you can't even really afford it off of 1 base.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Thor. So he is going to focus on Hellions and Thors. I think that's a great decision. He knows the muta timing as well. I mean, if you look at the game clock, it's at about 11 minutes. He knows the mutas are going to be showing up soon, so he needs that Thor.
Yeah, and
got to be careful there.
He wants to slow these roaches down. He just wants to keep Zenio scared right now. I'd like to see him clear up some creep because Zenio's creep starter right now is out of control. I mean, it is out of control. He's already got half of the map covered in creep.
I like it.
I love it, man. I'm really impressed with his creep spread.
And looks like he's going to get one of the creep queens there. In the meantime, Zenio gets a good scout. Yep, that queen getting flame broiled.
Will we see a scan here?
And I think we've got to see a scan. He's got a scan.
At the very least, he is going to take out the queen.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Second creep queen goes down. And no scan. He's just okay with it. He's like, all right, I'm just going to let you do the creep thing for now, I guess.
Well, he didn't have any scans available. He just dropped mules before. I suppose that's partially why.
Look at that. He's making 4 Hellions at a time, 2 Thors at a time, and +2 is almost finished.
Oh my god.
This army is going to be so scary, man.
Oh, there's a scan.
Yep.
But the mutas are out.
Yeah, he's going to need to run now, but he's got Thors out at home, so he's going to be just fine from this. And the fact is that Zenio's going to have a really hard time dealing with this when MarineKing moves out. What I'm really curious about is if MarineKing's going to wait until he maxes out, maybe go for +3 attack, or if he's going to move out right now and just make it sort of a 2-base thing. I'm really curious to see what he decides to do.
I think he's going to wait for 2 more Thors. I like this. Right now he's repairing his Hellions. I'd love to see him actually pull like 8 SCVs and just go with this, repair the Thors, and try to attack now, attack that 3rd base.
The dangerous thing is that it's generally a really bad idea to move out before you're maxed in this type of situation. I mean, you can do it. There are certain timings you can hit where it's okay, but in general, it's just safer to wait, and that's why you'll see a lot of Terrans do that. But he does have the 3rd command center too. Oh, big Thor hit there.
I think the problem for MarineKing right now is if he waits, he's kind of in a tough spot with bases right now. He does have that 3rd command, so he's going to try to take that base right now, but the creep spread is so far over there.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to hold a 3rd. Like you were saying from the beginning of this, it's so hard to take a 3rd when you do a build like this. And
that's kind of why I thought he was going to go for that 2-base, Marine, or not Marine, 2-base Hellion Thor build, because we do see that so often on maps like this, but MarineKing does things his own way.
He does, man. He's finally getting blue flame now, so those Hellions are going to be much more useful against light units.
Yep.
He's not going to be facing very many of those, but
this is such a cool build. I love Mech TVZ. I mean, we've been talking a lot about MarineKing. Zenio's doing, everything right. He made enough roaches to stay alive. He's going into Mutiling, Baneling. He's getting +2 Carapace right now. Really playing great. I mean, the creep spread is unbelievable. So this game could definitely go either way. Oh boy, but here come the Banelings, and wow, look at that. Banelings don't last very long against Hellions, do they?
No, they do not. Scans going off here to clear up a lot of this creep. He's got so many Hellions, he's clearing them so quickly.
Yeah, now it's fine. About maxed out. Looks like he's not going to wait for +3 quite yet. And moving in through an area where this army is going to be able to engage fantastically. Whoa! Losing a couple Hellions there, but that is not going to be enough mutas. No way. And looks like MarineKing loses a good amount of Hellions, but he's got enough of everything else, even a couple siege tanks.
Adding those siege tanks in was really smart.
Oh yeah, you always need that.
Oh, these drones are not going to last very long.
Oh, look at that, splitting up the Hellions to go into each base here. A lot of drones getting taken out by MarineKing. And this game, Zenio could potentially still hold.
Yeah, he's definitely going to eventually clean up this army, but it's just so much damage has been done.
Yeah,
MarineKing's got the 3rd base up now. And this may be the time where he gets it.
Yeah. I think MarineKing may have overextended just a little bit here because those Thors do take a little while to replace.
And with the creep spread for Zenio, he's able to just surround these so easily.
Yep.
There's no real retreat for MarineKing of this. I was thinking, he's maybe overextended himself, but could he really even retreat? Not really. If he unsieges and tries to run away, Zenio's going to catch him.
The nice thing that MKP was able to do during all this is take that 3rd and get that a little bit established. That's going to help quite a bit. But, Zenio's got 40 supply up on MarineKing right now.
With the drones killed, in total, there were 26 workers killed. But let me read you the work counts.
All right.
80 drones to 58 SCVs.
Wow.
He actually just has so many more workers, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. The one thing that's going to help MarineKing out a lot is that +3 weapons that's going to be finishing soon. That is going to make those tanks and Thors do so much damage. Look at that. Killing a few more drones.
Yeah, in total, killing 10 more right there.
Yep. Kind of trying to even up the worker count. It's going to help it. More drones getting roasted by MarineKing. He is doing such a good job with these Hellions. But is it going to be enough? I mean, Zenio's in a position now where he's got enough larvae being kicked out that he can reproduce his drones very, very quickly.
10 workers here, 10 workers there. Pretty good, though, for him to be able to get that. And MarineKing's now starting his 4th command center. He's got a sensor tower up. He's eliminated a decent amount of the creep, but I just cannot stop talking to you guys about how good Zenio's creep spread has been this entire game. It's something that's extremely important against this type of style.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you do like 3 creep tumors in a small area like that, you can expand it so quickly here. Oh, run, Hellions. Those banelings are lining up so nicely, and he takes advantage of it. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, as far as creep spread goes, if you have multiple creep tumors in a small area, the creep actually spreads exponentially faster.
Yes.
So that's a good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, a common misconception, a lot of people think it just spreads the same rate, so they don't understand why people make 3 at once, but it actually spreads exponentially faster.
Yeah.
Zenio just doing a great job of spreading that creep all over the map, and that's why you can see every time these pushes come out.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, he's got such good vision over everything right now. And he's going to try to snipe that sensor tower. Is he going to get it? No, barely.
Oh, it is burning.
Yeah, he's got to repair it. He's going to send a close call or SCV up right away.
If he didn't unsiege his tanks at that moment, the tanks would have killed it.
You know, sensor towers are pretty fragile. They're a bit on the expensive side, too, so you want to keep those alive.
Very true. I like that we're seeing sensor towers more in this matchup.
Oh yeah, we're seeing those more in every matchup now. I mean, and I like this by MarineKing adding on a lot of tanks. It's going to make that army have a lot more staying power. And some Hellions getting caught out of position.
He's trying to draw the main army of Zenio towards him. Remember, he's got +3 now on all of his mech.
Yeah, he's doing a ton of damage. Zenio might just go for a counterattack too. We'll see.
He is going for a fairly massive counterattack. There are a decent amount of Thors and Hellions back at the main base, though. But will they be enough with that many Roaches and Banelings? I'm not sure.
He's going to need some tanks as well, and everything's clubbed up. Uh-oh. This might not go well for MarineKing. Let's find out. Sensor tower getting taken out. Yeah, MarineKing does defend. I guess he did have a
He had some siege tanks on the high ground. That really helped him out there.
For some reason, that army looked bigger on the mini-map than it actually was for Zenio, too. And look at that, a Raven on the production queue. I like it.
Yeah, it's really good to get that Raven out because of what Zenio is doing. That creep spread is so important. And MarineKing's like, for some reason, every time I move out slowly to attack you, you're already ready for me. Of course, the creep, both the speed bonus and the vision that grants is awesome. Look at Zenio's spine crawler spreading, how he spreads them out in that 4, kind of like a square. Gets a really good surface area with that.
You know, here's the thing that MarineKing has not counted on quite early enough. Look at that, 5 Broodlords on the way, and MarineKing is only just now starting his first 2 Vikings. He missed the transition to Vikings a little bit there. If you're playing mech against Zerg, you want to be 1 step ahead the entire game. But we'll see if this push is pushed back by Zenio. MarineKing moving in here.
And the Broodlord's a little bit out of position.
Yep.
He does not have Neural Parasite.
Roasted.
And the hatchery does fall, but here come the Broodlords. There's a lot of Thors, though, and with +3, those Broodlords with no Carapace upgrades may actually just fall to the Thors. The Thors have such good range, there's no support for them, you know?
As silly as it is, sometimes you can actually kill Broodlords with Thors. Here comes Zenio trying to kill the army. Nice bungles going down and everything, softening things up a little bit. And Thors, as you can see, are just less than ideal for killing Broodlords. It kills them so slowly. And I think, though, that MarineKing, now the Vikings are showing up, so he'll have just enough to beat this Broodlord
Zenio
army.
may just die here.
Wow, really cutting it close here is MarineKing.
Well, with no air upgrades to those Broodlords and no ground support, he wanted to have, ideally, those Infestors and Zerglings that were in the corner to support the Broodlords, but MarineKing said no, he isolated them, kept them apart from each other, and Zenio may just die now. He's only got really 1 mining base because his natural's essentially mined out. He's got that top left base.
This has been such an impressive game played by MarineKing. Look, he's expanding behind every big push that he does. He's playing mech like a guy who's played mech for a lot longer than I think he has. And that's what I love about MarineKing. He's constantly changing his style. You never know what to expect.
You know, what he did during that battle that you guys weren't able to see on camera is he had a Raven follow a group of 5 Hellions around the map. Look at the creep. It's gone.
Oh, wow, yeah.
He actually just methodically got rid of all the creep with that Raven during that attack. So now Zenio's got no creep really on the map. He can't retake this base over here on the right side.
Yep. More Ravens on the way as well for MarineKing.
MarineKing's making mech look mobile, man. That's actually what he's doing this game.
That's a good way of putting it. That's actually an excellent way of putting it, yeah. On a small map like this, it's a little bit easier to do that, but yeah, he's doing a good job of picking really good timings to move out. The running lanes are excellent for doing mech on this map.
The larva is so camped here that everything that is made just instantly dies.
Yeah, I don't think Zenio's going to have much luck. He gets the fungal off on those Vikings. Neural Parasite on the way as well, but it's going to be too little too late here. I think MarineKing's got this game hands down.
The Queen trying to attack, but there's a point defense drone. Nothing going right here.
Plenty of Vikings out now for MarineKing as well. 3 Thors being produced at a time.
Neural Parasite is going to finish, but is it really going to be useful at this point? I don't think so.
No.
Especially when there's no investors. GG.
And MarineKing Prime winning game 1 with some awesome mech play. That's awesome, man. I love it. I love Mech TVZ.
I don't know if you remember this, but it was Zenio and MarineKing played against each other in Code S. I think it was the 2nd season of GSL, and it was on Terminus Re, and MarineKing went Command Center first and then this like exact same build against Zenio. It was a long, epic game. This game reminds me a lot of that. And you know, MarineKing is not a guy to normally go mech, but when he does it so well.
That's right. He doesn't always go mech, but when he does, he wins games.
I'm like, I wasn't really thinking about it like that, but I guess, yeah.
I wish I had something more clever to say. I'm sorry. But, yeah, that was such a good game from MarineKing. And it wasn't a bad game at all from Zenio, too.
Yeah.
Zenio played really, really well. I mean, his creep spread was just insane.
I know. It's like better than Seal's creep spread, man.
I know.
It's crazy. I mean, it was like, I guess it was 10 minutes into the game or something, and I looked at it and I was like, is this a glitch? He just had
in the Matrix.
There was basically 3 different routes of creep spread, and he had a queen at each one, just constantly knocking those tumors out.
Yeah.
And MarineKing tried to, systematically remove the queens. He did a good job at the end of the game getting that Raven out and sending it with the Hellions to just clean up that creep.
That was really the end of it, yeah. I mean, a lot of Terran players really can't invest in that Raven early on, but when you get on like 3 bases, 4 bases, you can spare it. You can make a Raven.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's really important to have that Raven, especially against someone who's got that great creep spread. And MarineKing, I think, realized that the only thing that was really holding him back was the fact that Zenio always knew where he was.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's too bad that, we keep going on about MarineKing, but that's actually like the best I've seen Zenio play in a long time, I thought. I thought he looked great in game 1, and he could still easily take this series. The next map is going to be Crossfire, so, if there's a good map for Zenio to get back into it, I think it's Crossfire. A lot of people, we always mention this. A lot of people when the map first came out, they're like, "Oh, that's going to be such a Terran map." But Zerg's
turns
been
out
tearing it up on
there.
there.
Turns out that it's not a Terran map because the way you can use mutas on that map, you can really abuse the fact that Terran has to run back home then, and it's not easy to move through that center of the map.
Yeah, it's kind of like opposite Scrap Station. Remember when Scrap Station came out?
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh, it's so good for Zerg because your natural's so protected. Who needs more than 2 bases?" And then after a while, it was like, "Oh, this is actually a really good map for Terran."
I actually really miss Scrap Station sometimes. I thought it was a fun map to play.
It was a fun map.
It was terrible for PvP, but
I had a lot of fun TVP with that map.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun map to play on.
We need more maps of islands. That's what we need.
We just need a larger map pool in general, I think. That's why it's cool that these organizations like ESV are just, sliding in those new maps.
We need Desert Oasis. I had to slip it in there somewhere. Yeah. All right, game time, guys. Let's see who comes out on top in game 2. Zenio versus